Boop. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, May the 25th, 2021, and today's daily Bible readings come to us from Psalm 104, 24 through 34, and then 35, Genesis 11, 1 through 9, and 1 Corinthians 12, 12 through 27, and I'm going to look at 1 Corinthians 12 and talk about Splitsville, or dissension in the body, as it says in the New Revised Standard Version, or schism. Schism? Anyway, so Splitsville. Let me ask you this question. Aside from, arguing over paint colors and pew cushions, what do you think is probably the largest excuse for dissension in the church? Now, I know there's a lot of specific arguments that we can name that are going on right now to this day, but I don't think, those are like symptoms, right? Those are symptoms of an underlying illness. I would say that the biggest thing, and I think Paul agrees with me here, is that it's a sense of independence that stems from a kind of a false sense of supremacy, right? It's the we really don't need them. We're so smart, we can do it on our own. We can do it ourselves. It's that kind of mentality that this kind of I'm just too good to work with anybody else. I don't really need anybody else. I could do that better myself. And so when you get that mentality, you decide to kick the other person to the curb and just do it yourself until you realize that yourself has no idea what you're doing, and let alone that you have an idea of what the other was even doing for you. You realize you had no idea that they actually how much they did for you. And so Paul is talking about this idea of a disjointed body in this text in 1 Corinthians. It's this idea of, parts of the body saying to each other, I have no need of you, right? And it's an absurd picture because, God didn't create the human body to work like that. You don't have like disjointed limbs just crawling off on their own like the, in the Addams Family or in some horror movie, because that's a horrifying image. You don't have eyeballs rolling around. This is getting really grotesque. Anyway, yeah, and there's a reason that image is so disturbing is because we know the human body wasn't meant to work like that. God didn't make humans to work that way, and he didn't design the church to work that way either. That's what Paul's talking about. He didn't design the church body to operate as these little separate things that just have this idea that they don't need each other. No one part, Paul says, can proclaim supremacy over the other part, much less independence. It's an interdependent whole. And that's what he goes on to say, that there may be no dissension within the body. That's why God designed it that way, so that all the parts have to rely on all the other parts, so there can't be any dissension within the body, because that just gets in the way of what really is the work and what the body of Christ is really supposed to be about. There's maybe no dissension within the body. And then he says, now you are the body of Christ and individually members of it, which means we can't just cut ourselves off from the other parts of the body just because we just think they're a nuisance or we just think we could do it better. Anyway, that's the DBR for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Get out. Have a good day. If you're here in Chattanooga, watch the sky. Looks like it might thunder. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. Boop.